All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go with match number 3 between Liquid Haypro and our good old friend ATN Darkforce, alternate attacks Darkforce. These two players will be pitted together in an epic CVZ. Starting map is going to be NASL's Terminus SE. And I have to say, Darkforce is probably the guy that has most impressed people ever since the Season 1 finals of NASL.
Yeah, definitely. Being able to take down a Korean, never something to just look over right there. It's always impressive. But we do have a Zerg versus Zerg. It's probably actually one of my favorite matchups.
Yep.
Like, I am now a Zerg player. Been playing Zerg for a couple months now. And I must say, I actually really enjoy playing this matchup.
Yeah, you've got the chance to practice with a lot of very, very strong Zerg players on the EG team, such as, Idra.
Idra, Machine, Strife Crow.
Okay, Idra and Strife Crow. No, and Machine, of course. No, Machine's really, really strong at ZVZ. Every single time he does very well at MLG. I know he 2-1'd Haypro last time. Actually, I think he has Haypro's number. He just
does.
consistently beats Haypro every single time around. And I know Haypro has had some good ZVZs in the past, especially in the NASL.
Yeah. One thing I love about Haypro is he loves mutas, and I do too. Like, I'm a big fan of muta play
In ZVZ?
in ZVZ.
Oh, wow,
yeah, he a lot of players, even Nestive and then some other players started going, where you roach opening and then you switch to mutas. You get that like 8 mutas, and then you control the map. You deny all the overlord scouting and everything like that, and that allows you to kind of get an advantage. I feel like you can take more bases, you can deny a base, you can force them to waste fungals and stuff on just lone mutas, not a pack of them, just lone.
Interesting. So
Now
just literally take map control, you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Very, very cool.
Now we do see a 14 gas, 14 pool coming down from Darkforce. This is probably the safest opening in the game, I would say. It's the all-around safest. And like I said about Haypro, in I believe the pre-game show, there's the fast expansion.
Yeah, and we've gone over this before. It's not that big of a difference between the two builds that we see right now, because one, Darkforce, you get the faster queen out. Haypro, you get the faster larva out from the second hatchery. You can't really get 2 queens and support that while defending against speedlings, so it doesn't really give you that ability to start yielding a huge amount of larva and get that drones out. So it really does kind of even out, I think, in the grand scheme of things, and I really like how ZVZ has developed ever since the queen mechanics.
Right, I love the queen mechanics. Also, something to note, Darkforce is not taking his drones off of the gas. So maybe he wants to do more than just a Zergling attack. Maybe he wants to actually do like a Baneling pressure.
Yep, it does look like it's something of that nature. Yes, there we go, the Baneling nest. It wouldn't be smart to get the Roach Horn, of course, just because the Roaches take 10 years and 4 months to get over there, so it would be quite inefficient. We'll see how Haypro actually goes about this. I would love for him to either get Banelings or Roaches. I'm not sure which one is the better of the two. I personally always thought Roaches were good, but current trends are going towards more of a Zergling Baneling defense, relying on those queens.
Right, we do have from Haypro 2 queens coming out, and he's not mining really gas anymore. There's no other tech going on. There's no Roach Warren. So he is literally going to have to just continue making Zerglings at this point. And what he has to do is he has to apply pressure on the Zerglings so they never have time to morph.
I see, yeah.
To where he has a greater number than. So where he forces him to keep running around. But, right now, I'm not so sure that's going to really work out to Haypro's favor, because we have a lot of lings coming down here from Darkforce.
Yeah, I think this is actually really, really risky build coming out from Haypro. He needs to do something right now. We can see all of these Zerglings are under attack because Metabolic Boost is up. 2 Zerglings are going to go down. Now all of Darkforce's Zerglings are going to be streaming in here. Spinecrawler is going down currently, but it is being target fired very, very nicely. It looks like it'll finally go down. Oh my god, Darkforce is making a huge blunder there, trying to go forward up into the ramp, but not able to do so. Now finally these Banelings are out. Here we go. Not yet getting a second base, so Haypro knows all he has to do is defend this to really, really win. It looks like that one Spinecrawler is offering so much defense. Here we go. Finally coming in, one-shotting that Baneling, and he might just explode it onto that. Yes, he willed onto that Spinecrawler, and he still has 3 more Banelings left. With good micro, he will be able to stay really, really strong in this engagement.
Right, we do have Banelings morphing in here from Haypro, but Banelings and Zerglings are running into the main of Haypro, attacking that drone line. And oh my gosh, a lot of drones are going down. Baneling's going off. Yeah, this is going to hurt Haypro's economy by just huge margins.
Yeah, those 2 queens aren't really attacking just yet, but what's nice is he's funneling all the Zerglings into this little tiny choke, and they're not actually killing any of the drones. What a huge, huge blunder. Just kind of misusing all of his Zerglings, and Darkforce is actually going to come, or excuse me, going to be really far behind now. He's actually in a pickle. Spinecrawler is going down. A couple Banelings are being morphed, but look at this. Haypro is bearing down on his opponent. This counterattack might do a ton of damage.
We do have Banelings out here for Darkforce, but he needs to control them really well. We need some hits to go off. While Banelings are chasing Haypro's Zerglings, he actually morphed 2 Banelings over in the corner of Darkforce's base. Huge Banelings going off, landing on those Zerglings, but he still doesn't know about these 2 from Haypro, and they're running in here, and this could be devastating.
Drones! Oh, gets a huge amount of drones. I think 5 died in the whole thing. Let's go ahead and look. Workers killed 11 and 6, and of course 11 in favor of Darkforce. But the fact that he's had this natural up for so much longer than his opponent, and he has the larva and the double queens, it was a huge risk to get double queens in my opinion, because as I said before, it really leaves room for that huge attack to happen. We did see Darkforce just kind of blunder a little bit, take a lot more losses than he should have. And I really feel like Darkforce needs something in this to get back, because right now, if he leaves Haypro B, the larva mechanics, that larva inject is just going to be way too much for him to handle.
Absolutely. This is really Haypro's game to lose at this point. Yeah. He has a significant advantage, but we do see Banelings come in here, and they could. You never can underestimate a Baneling. They can change the outcome of the game so quickly.
Yep, we do see. Oh,
wow!
One huge Baneling goes off, but wasn't able to do too much. Looks like for now, Darkforce has to retreat. Haypro was able to fend that off pretty nicely. Let's go ahead and go to the units tab. 23 drones, 22 now to 18 in favor of Haypro, and we should see a massive, massive drone pump right now coming out from him, just because he knows, okay, my opponent hasn't really done anything in terms of, or excuse me, just lost a lot of units. Let me go ahead and take that advantage, knowing that he cannot attack me, and just drone pump, get a huge economic advantage.
Yeah, that's really what Haypro needs to do now, but he has made some extra Zerglings to make some extra Banelings. He just wants to be, really safe. When you're ahead, sometimes you don't want to be a little bit risky. You don't want to take any chances that you don't have to take.
Precisely.
But while that's going on, Darkforce actually almost has a completed lair. Yeah, are we going to see maybe like a Muta build?
This is very uncharacteristic of, normal Zerg versus Zerg trends. We do have the Roach Warren out for Haypro, and Haypro, if he chooses to do a Roach timing right now and start just busting out a lot of Roaches, it could be very powerful. Yes, you are absolutely right. There goes the Spire. And this is exactly what Darkforce needs to do. He needs to change it up a little bit. He needs to actually do a tech switch, force his opponent, and punish him if he decides to go something like a fast third and get a lot of drones.
Yeah, I think Darkforce knew that he wasn't going to be able to play. He wasn't going to be able to mirror his opponent and play, because he was just going to be behind in everything. He's going to have less drones, he's going to have less upgrades. So now he's decided that he's going to play a little bit more risky. He's going to play something that he actually could not hold a timing attack coming from Haypro.
Correct.
There's no way he could hold it.
Yes.
But he's hoping Haypro plays, one of those micro-oriented styles, like an Idra style of ZVZ. And that's exactly what Haypro's doing right now. We even see a third going down for Haypro. But the question is, will he be prepared for these mutas?
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult. Actually, one Overlord's going to get in here. I think it's very, very far, like leagues away from that one Spire. I don't know whether it'll be able to get in there. It looks like 2 Queens are focusing it down. It's so close, but no, it will not be able to see the Spire. So this could be a huge, huge problem for Haypro. Thankfully for him, he does have an Evolution Chamber up. It's getting that +1 attack. But as you said, you know what? It's just so intelligent of Darkforce to do this, and the thought process is, I can never ever kill something like a push, so let's assume that no push is coming, because even if it does come, I'm dead. I'm absolutely dead. Let's assume that push isn't coming. Hey, now under that assumption, I can make a Spire. I can do this very, very safely, and it's going to catch my opponent off guard. It's just a brilliant way of thinking about this game.
One more thing to note, while that Overlord was going in there, it did not see the Spire, but it did see that he had tons of larvae saved up that he was not building anything with. So if you read that as an intel, that means, okay, what is he trying to hide?
That's true. And also, he saw the lair. That should be a huge cue. So it's like, oh, let me go ahead and defend. We do have 3 Spore Crawlers going down in every direction. Which way? We don't see additional queen. No, we do see an additional queen coming out. Excuse me. So he is all the way up to just 3 queens. Not too substantial. But the 3 queens will be able to give a little bit of anti-air, and it should buy a little bit of time while he gets additional queens up, and those Spore Crawlers also provide a little bit of cover.
Definitely. These mutas are trying to do something, but Haypro is just pretty all-around well defended. He even has Hydralisk up on the field. He has the Infestation Pit pathogen glands going, so he's going to be able to start with 75 energy, which is a automatic fungal growth for people out there.
Yeah.
And that's, you hit one of those on mutas while Hydra supporting, and everyone dies.
There's no chance for them to stay alive. Of course, those Hydras just have such insane DPS. It looks like both these players are going to standardize a little bit. Is there going to be a switch? Now, the big thing now is those mutas, although they're great for mobility on this map, it doesn't really help the ground army at all. So how I would be going with Haypro is start to overdevelop my upgrades on ground. Make sure that I have a lot of just strength in there, and that way the mutas do absolutely 0 damage, and it makes it so inefficient for them to even have these out.
Right. We do see that we have also pathogen glands coming from Darkforce as well. So he's going straight into Infestor. He's not overcommitting with this. And this is what a play that I actually do a lot, that I, not necessarily getting into this transition, but this is how I actually go. I open Muta a lot from Zergling Baneling, and then I switch to Infestor and go straight to Hive and actually go Ultras with upgrades.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually really strong late game. And we do see that he has upgraded the melee +1, and now he's doing Carapace +1. So that might be what he wants to go into.
All right. Well, hopefully we do see that. One interesting thing to note is Haypro was able to get an Overlord in here and see the Hive being merged into, or say the lair being merged into a Hive. So we do see a Hive tech out. Will we see that Ultra Cavern right now? I'm not sure just yet. No, we don't see anything just yet. Oh, there it goes. Okay, Ultralisk Cavern, you're absolutely right. God, apparently you are really good at ZVZ.
You know,
obviously.
I use what was given to me.
Well said. But these mutas are just going to flock around here to the bottom screen or the bottom location. Still not enough to do too much damage, but Roach Hydra is being developed along with a couple Infestors from Haypro. Haypro does need to start acting pretty quickly. This 12 o'clock expansion is going to be a little bit threatening as time goes on, and Haypro has scouted it out.
Something I want to point out about this style that Darkforce is doing, where you take expansions as far away from as possible, is it's all about counterattacking. If Haypro ever leaves his base, he has to have the most superior army, because if he loses his push once, he's just going to be counterattacked the whole time.
Yep.
We do see a couple mutas there picking off an Infestor, and that's, oh my gosh, no fungal goes off on him, nothing. So that was a free Infestor kill for those 3 mutas.
Yeah, it's very, very yummy, and we can see that because the creep spread isn't too far, the Hydras are extra slow. They get a -1 point something. And yep, you're absolutely right. Here the counterattack comes. A lot of Zerglings are coming in here, but there are mutas, or excuse me, Hydras and Zerglings and Roaches actually that are here to defend. It looks like they're going to split up. Some of these Zerglings are coming to the 3rd. That's going to be very devastating. Meanwhile, there is a counterattack going on and a lot of fungal growth going off, but Darkforce is not fungal growthing anymore. He really needs to. Oh my god, all these Infestors aren't doing anything. Finally fungal growthing everything. The mutas and Zerglings are doing tons of damage in the main of Haypro, and along with that, the 3rd is under attack. This is just a complete base trade. Who's going to stay on top? Ultralisk getting in here, gonna start attacking, does good damage. Is it gonna be enough? That's the big question. I'm not sure. No, they're just gonna go down. Haypro just has an army that is too hard to stop.
Yeah, while this is going on, they are base trading. You know, mutas still are in the main of Haypro, and while that's going on, I don't know who's going to come out on top on this. You know, he does have a lot of bases, but yeah, Darkforce just said, good game and left.
So, wow, Haypro was able to take out his opponent. I really feel like, you know, I guess the main was thinning out, or excuse me, Haypro's main was thinning out with a mute account. You know, Darkforce didn't have that much. And, of course, he lost his natural. But, you know, he did have the 12 and the 6. Maybe it was just too hard to come back in that style.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily that he couldn't have won that game, but I still think there was a chance that he could have won that game. For some reason, that kind of felt like an Hydra kind of leave, you know? Maybe the game wasn't completely over. And he still had the Ultra's Cavern. The +2 just finished for his armor upgrade on him.
That's a huge thing.
And all his, like, all of Zerg's army, Haypro's army, was really weak. It was all very weakened from all the fungals and stuff. And if he could have just got, you know, maybe 4 Ultralisk out, he probably could have defeated that army. And Haypro's economy was absolutely non-existent because of the mutas and the Zergling counters and stuff. So not necessarily that he could have won that game, but it was definitely still a chance. I
really feel like that game in particular could have gone a really, really different way if the infestors just worked on those units. I mean, for so long, those fungal growths weren't coming off. There were a lot of spine crawlers, and Haypro was just moving into it.
Right.
And, you know, there's so much capabilities for a lot of stuff to happen, a lot of fungal growths, a lot of damage to happen. I feel like if that happened and in conjunction with those ultras, it would have been a much different game. Darkforce would have been able to hold off.
Yeah. Also, you can use the fungal growths to actually make the army not attack the spine crawlers. So they're in range of the spine crawlers. And so a little bit better micro, I think, from Darkforce, and he wins that game hands down.
Yeah. I definitely agree. We're actually going to be moving over into the second game between Darkforce and Haypro. It's going to be on dual site. Everybody stay tuned. We got a lot of ZVZ action coming your way with this guy as a competitive insight. So we'll be back after this break.